Hey, y'all. Well, it must be 7 o'clock because I put my glasses on so I could hear y'all better. Good morning. I'm Rayford Brown.
I'm Kelly Knapp.
And I'm Lee Barrows.
Well, back up one.
Well, I wasn't sure whether you had this mic on. You're not used to turning this one.
Rewind, not you. Who was that other one?
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Kelly.
Kelly's back.
I'm back.
Kelly Knapp
Yep,
is back.
Kelly Knapp is back.
Well, come aboard. You're
Thank
looking
you.
fine.
Good. At least I look good.
What? Uh-oh.
I just can't. I'll have this cough forever, I think.
Just chill.
Uh-huh.
Now, it's making me kind of, I want to do it.
You're going
right
to
now.
sympathy cough for me.
I do.
Go for it.
I
It's
really
like
do.
it's contagious like a yawn.
It is. That's exactly what I was thinking. My dog yawned last night and I yawned.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you.
Oh, no, there we go. And you just, we haven't yawned. You just heard it, the
We
word.
said the word. Oh.
It's Tuesday morning. Welcome into Live and Local Real Talk. Y'all, y'allins, all y'all.
All yins.
So, feel free if you're feeling the mood and the movement's got you going. You've got a couple of choices. One of them will be to give us a call. 910-333-0139, 910-333-0139. If you got one of those numbers that you've blocked so that we can't see who's calling,
Right.
because we've had a couple of strange calls lately, you may want to consider when you call us, unblock that number so we can see who you are so that we can take your call. Otherwise, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but I'm not. But that's the way it is.
I think we need to reach out and have people call in about recipes for Thanksgiving. I need something new.
That's good for me.
Oh, I got to look
Yes.
up one. I'm glad you said that. Thank you. for
Uh-oh,
that.
it's not pig's feet or anything.
Oh,
like
Lord,
that.
no.
That's
What's wrong with
disgusting.
pig's feet?
Gross.
I'm gonna tell you,
Pigs need them.
I was in the grocery store last week, and we had that conversation. And I walked by the meat counter, and there they were. I was like,
So
"Darn you,
gross.
Rayford!" Oh,
So gross.
But they weren't pickled, so they're okay.
yeah, it's true. We thought about we should bring in here, Kelly, and taste test it on the air.
Kelly's having
I don't know
absolutely
about that.
not going to happen. Not with Kelly.
I'm not sure how I feel about that one.
No, we get a bucket in here too for just in case.
We'll have to keep
Called the
a
bar
couple
bucket.
buckets around because some of that
That's
stuff I
stressful.
saw, I was like,
Mm-mm.
I would just.
You ever been to one of those
Ooh.
kinds of events where here, just sample these or food or whatever?
I've been the kind where stick your hand in this box and tell me what you feel. That's stressful too.
That was at
That'll invoke
Halloween
fear.
or something, right?
It was right around that time. Yeah.
I'm glad you said because we had there when I was a little kid
Yeah.
and school was quite early. And my dad took me over there to the haunted house,
Uh-huh.
and that's what we had to do. Go in there and I remember this probably. I'm like in the first grade. She was probably one of them older kids in the eighth grade. Old woman.
Yeah.
And so she would take my hand. She put it in there. And, now this is witch's hair. And you
Mhm.
put your hand in there, and I don't know what it was. And then These are brains.
And it's spaghetti.
So
Yeah.
it's all sorts of weird stuff like that. And I'm like, that could traumatize a little
It is
kid.
traumatic because one of the things they had me stick my hand in was some kind of like beetle or something, some like little bugs.
No,
And it freaked me out.
Ever seen anybody eat those bugs on TV?
Oh, God,
Yes.
yes.
They are supposed to be
Why?
a delicacy. Some of
I
those big old
can't-
giant things.
Come to my house. If I see one, I'll save it for you. I'll
What-
let you know. Oh,
What was that show that they used to have where, you know, you
Stupid
try to
is a
win
stupid
$1 million and you had to do all these
Oh,
like
yeah,
challenges
yeah, yeah.
and they put you like in a box of spiders or
No.
oh no.
mm-mm.
I don't need that $1 million that bad.
Oh, I'd be stomping those suckers. They'd have to get some new
I can't.
spiders.
I
would
just-
not. I'd be the
Mm-mm.
biggest loser because I would not even.
Oh, I
do it.
wouldn't. I couldn't even do it.
quit.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm gone.
Well, I just never saw the good reason to watch those shows or anything. I've watched a couple of them and I said, you know,
I
why?
can't watch them.
I don't need want the
If
money
y'all-
that bad.
If y'all want to gross somebody out, send them around with me. I can show
Yeah.
you how to gross them out with real life. I don't
Yeah.
have to do anything.
I agree. Mm-mm.
There's a lot of stuff out there that's
That's just like on some of these reality games, contest shows where they have different people come on there doing different acts, and they have some come on there that stick knives down their throat. And I don't watch
I don't
it.
understand the appeal of that. I just don't.
I don't watch it. I'll turn the channel until the next act comes
Yeah.
on. But no.
I'll go for it. Do whatever you want to do. Well,
What, Kelly? Did you see Yellowstone Sunday night?
Sure did.
oh,
Oh, that ending.
I saw it last night.
Yes.
Oh man, that ending was
Knew that was
amazing.
coming though, didn't we?
Yeah.
What was the ending? I forgot.
Don't tell
We-
people
we
that haven't
can't
seen
tell.
it yet. Some people I haven't gotten caught up. Mm-hmm.
Well, that was me, but I
Well,
seemed
you
like
saw it last night.
I did. But I mean, that's been what, 12 hours ago?
At the very end. Well,
Just give me a hint.
Can't. We can't.
Bang bang. That's the only hint you're going to get.
Hey Rayford, have you watched Landman?
Yes, the one that
No.
comes. Yes.
Billy Bob Thornton, if he don't win an Emmy or Academy
You gotta
Award or
watch
whatever, you gotta win.
Well-
This I think is going to top Yellowstone. This
I
show.
think so,
It's
too.
about the oil business.
Is Kevin Costner, his character's dead, right?
Yes.
Then why is he listed in the credits?
Good point. I don't know. I
Well-
think it's going to flash back to him later in
Yes.
the
Oh, okay.
season.
It's been.
I think
yeah.
I read that.
And don't
Yeah.
be surprised at the very last episode
That
of
he's not
the
dead.
show that he walks in and the door shuts and it was all a dream.
That better not be.
You remember when Dallas did that?
Yes. Yes.
Who shot
It was a
JR?
dream.
Rayford, you got to watch Landman. And if you have not watched Lioness, which is totally right
I'm
up there,
watching Lioness.
Yes, I've been
oh,
watching
that
it
show
too.
is
I'm
amazing.
watching Lioness.
I knew
Oh,
I
there's-
saw that. I'm like, this is Rayford's
There'll be a
show right
couple of
here.
them out there that I'm watching. And
Yeah.
I got, what my problem,
Mhm.
given the system that I've got,
Mhm.
is that I can binge watch and I can go through
Yes,
one
I do the
entire
same.
season in one day.
I do the same thing. I
It's
go
not
back and
nice.
watch on demand. So
Did you watch Tulsa King?
No.
I tried watching that. I could
Oh.
not get into it, but I'm going to go back.
Go
and
back
try
because
again.
I'm gonna tell you what. I'm not a fan of Sylvester Stallone,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna tell you what. This is by far the best thing
Adrian!
he's ever done. He plays a gangster,
Uh-huh.
but it's.
Yes.
I mean, you have to get past that first
He's
episode.
tough.
And the cat, I don't know who. Well, Taylor Sheridan did it, so y'all know right off the bat it's gonna be good.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
Yellowstone and Landman
Anything
and
he
all
does.
anything he does is golden. But he's assembled this cast, and they all mesh so perfectly. You have to watch Tulsi. It's Robin's favorite, but now Landman's fast becoming his second favorite.
Oh, the first episode.
I watched
and
that first
said,
episode. I was like, Billy Bob Thornton, which I've always
I've
loved.
always loved him.
I mean, but that show starts off with
Yeah.
what did I just watch? 1st
Mhm.
scene. Yeah.
I know Robin and a lot of folks and a lot of cops will
Mm-hmm.
watch cop shows and say, you know, there's no way, that's unreal. Yeah, well, yeah, it's unreal, but you know,
Right.
it's
But
kind of
these shows are so good.
kind of
It's
based on
entertainment.
kind of based for entertainment. And they gotta solve the crime in an hour because
Right.
we don't have an attention span
Yeah.
that long.
Not
right?
if Taylor Sheridan's writing it.
I don't know what this
But-
guy does, but he's
but
like
the,
cannot be human. His shows are so good.
I
Like,
found something called the NCIS Origins,
I started watching
and I started watching, and I'm like, this is really not well done.
No.
It's not
No,
the
Robin-
same-
I didn't.
Robin hated it.
It's not
That
the
sets
same.
him off.
It's not the same
No,
quality.
the young
as
Gibbs.
NCIS. No,
No.
it's not. No.
Ugh.
He was not a fan of that. But I'm telling you, Rayford, watch Landman. You will be totally hooked,
Yeah.
and you have to watch Tulsa
And
King.
for anybody out
Yeah.
there who's not watched Landman, they've had 2 episodes
Those
already.
three.
3?
The third one came on Sunday night. We watched it.
I thought Sunday night, that was the second.
No,
one.
ma'am, there's 3.
I'm going to go back and check my on demand.
Go
'Cause I
check
thought
it.
there was only 2 because I watched the very first episode.
The first
2
2
weeks ago.
came on the same night. We watched them. And then the third one came on Sunday night, and it was
I'll go
amazing.
back. I'll go back and look then.
Yep, it's on there. We watched it.
Okay, folks, 910-333-0139, 910-333-0139. It is Thanksgiving week. You want to chat? Give us a call. Tell us what you're thankful about, number one, if you want to do that. If not, just don't. Tell us what your recipe is for something different.
Different.
We know that you're going to have those
Turkey.
those
stuffing.
beans things, and we know you're going to have some stuff, and we know we're going to
Mhm.
have some turkey. There's 40 ways to cook turkey, but there's only one right way. Well, 2 right ways, and they're not the way you do it. But tell us what you do. What is your unique Thanksgiving?
And I want to know, is it stuffing or dressing? I say stuffing. I'm used to stuffing.
I don't do either.
Oh,
Or
I do.
either.
I love it. It's my
I do
favorite
neither nor
part.
neither.
I don't put it in the turkey, but I still call it stuffing.
I can't put it in the turkey because I'm going to be deep frying the stuffing
Yeah,
out
that
of
ought
it.
to be
I
interesting.
will be deep frying the stuffing out of it if I put it in the turkey. Turkey is called dressing if you have it in the side in a baking dish.
I've just
I
always
just made that
called
up. And,
okay.
you believed it for
No, I'm just like, you're weird, but it's okay. No, I'm just kidding. A lot of people call it dressing. I've always just called it stuffing, regardless of whether it went in the turkey or not.
So who's the most weird person in here now that all 3 of us are here? Well, we all
That
read
would
it
be
different
me.
ways.
Kelly says, I don't eat it.
The most weird. They are here.
This one,
Yin or yang?
Why?
I don't know. I'm just saying I probably am.
In other words, you don't know. So what do y'all think? You've been watching this for a while.
Hey, let's
Who's the
not have
weirdest of
people-
the weird?
Oh.
More
Right.
presidential appointments from President-elect
How
Trump,
about
obviously
that?
not wanting to wait until the last minute, and certainly a desire to keep everyone focused on him. Trump announced 3 key appointments to White House offices yesterday, including 2 who served during his first term. Certainly liked them better than he did his first vice president. The announcement included the appointment of James Braid. I wonder if he braids his hair. Who will return to the White House as the Deputy Assistant to the President and Director of the Office of Legislative Affairs. Braid worked in legislative affairs at the Office of Management and Budget during Trump's first term, and since then he has served as the lead policy staffer for Vice President-elect J.D. Vance in the U.S. Senate. Braid has also served as Chief of Staff for multiple members of Congress and has taken on several other senior policy roles on Capitol Hill since 2015. In other words, he has experience. How about that? Trump has also announced Alex Latcham. He's going to return to the White House as the Deputy Assistant to the President and Director of the Office of Public Liaison. These titles,
What's a
The
office of
deputy
public
is-
liaison?
the Deputy Assistant to the President and Director of the Office of Public Liaison. Okay.
Heh.
Latcham previously served as Special Assistant to the President and Deputy Political Director during Trump's first term. And he wasn't able to keep him off Twitter either. I think that his
At
chief of
least-
staff is the only one so far that has any control over Donald J. Trump.
I don't think so.
So, what are y'all thoughts for Thanksgiving? I know Kelly's probably.
She's probably going to have it Ubered over.
No, I'm actually going to cook.
What?
I always cook.
What? What you
Turkey.
gonna cook? Turkey.
Beef tips for the kid that don't eat turkey.
No.
And then your regular normal stuff. My mother has to have white corn. It has to be
White corn?
I know.
On the cob or
No.
shoe peg corn?
Yeah.
Okay, well, there's a recipe for that. And I
I
had to
know.
pick up a can of that from my wife
Oh, I
yesterday.
have to buy frozen and make it thicken it myself, the whole 9
I'm
yards.
not sure what she's doing with this, but it calls for something. She's doing something scalloped oysters.
Oh,
Ooh.
we ain't doing all that.
It's some kind of a process she goes through, and it's good. kind of like a little side dish, appetizer, whatever you want to call it. And then she had to tell me last night why it's called scalloped oysters.
It's got scallops in it.
Nope. Because in the beginning or whenever it first came out and they had a name for it and they figured out, well, what we're doing is we're getting these scallop shells, we're cleaning those and we're putting this stuff in the scallop shells.
Oh,
So you're putting this process called scalloped oysters in the scallop shells and baking it.
okay. Seems like a lot of work, but okay.
Well, you know, got to put them in something.
I guess.
You could put them in those little, what are those little cooking things you get that's little round dishes?
I know what you're talking about.
What are they called? There's a special name for them.
I don't know.
Oh, come on. Lee?
Cooking
Cooking dishes. Yeah.
I know. I know exactly what it is. And
Jennifer, are you out there?
Jennifer, help.
My dear darling cousin who knows it all about cooking.
Brie.
Brie is cheese. I know that.
No, it's Brie. Jennifer, you know what I'm talking about. Just call.
She'll call in a little
Just
bit, I'm
call.
sure. She's probably laughing too hard to call right now. A distinguished Detroit area pastor has died after an illegal
Mm-hmm.
alien from Colombia car while he was out for a run on the morning this month. Pastor Stephen Singleton's family said the 72-year-old pastor, he was out on his usual daily run wearing a reflective vest when he crossed the street on a crosswalk and was hit by a man who ran through a red light. They posted on Facebook, this man was not legally in this country and possessed no driver's license. They said he was struck so hard that he was thrown on the windshield, breaking the car's windshield. The car was damaged and had to be towed. The pastor spoke the last words he would ever speak. He asked my grandmother. Almost all of his bones were broken. He had an organ and brain damage and required extensive surgeries. He passed away a week after he was struck.
God bless him.
Talk about suffering. The Oakland County Sheriff's Office confirmed in a press release that a 28-year-old Colombian national hit the 72-year-old man while the victim was crossing a road. Singleton was wearing the reflective vest, as the post said, and crossing the street at a designated crosswalk when he was struck and eventually died.
That's just
Yeah.
sad. Very sad.
Yeah, I know. Illegal
Yes.
alien.
Mm-hmm.
No license. Likely no insurance on the car.
I'm
Wonder
sure
whose car it
not.
was. How do people get a car these days and have no insurance on it? How can they even buy one? Well, let me tell you what. There was a car dealer, quote unquote, in Wilmington. He was running kind of a, buy your car, get your insurance here, all in one stop.
Right.
Well, they sold him the car after they sold him the insurance policy. The insurance policy was for 1 month,
Oh.
and they never renewed it.
What?
They
That's
didn't have
dumb.
to. I mean, they got the tags. They had a driver's license. They got their tags. They got the car, and they had insurance for a month, and then it lapsed. To go out and grab them because the address that they used was not theirs.
True.
You can't find them.
True.
The popo looking for them, the only way they will bump into them is accidentally stop them for some offense.
You would be surprised at how many people are out there driving on a daily basis
I will
that
not be
do not
surprised.
have insurance.
Yeah, if they don't have, and it's like, how was it? Jack Bright in the other day we were talking, or maybe we were just talking. He saw a car with expired tags.
Oh, yes.
And being a cop, you look at things like that when you pull up to them. I do. I found pulled behind one coming out of here on my way downtown one day, and there it was, and it had expired like 6 months earlier. And I'm like, should I call this in or not? I probably should.
Well, during the whole COVID thing where they were letting people get by with all that, I think a lot of people just got into that. Well, I'm not going to worry about it, blah, blah, blah. But
Mhm.
I'll tell you
Well,
what.
it's going to cost you a lot of money. And
Yeah, it is.
and the chances are when you've got an expired tag, there's a really good chance you have not had your car inspected.
Right.
There's a good chance that you don't have insurance on the car. And
Yeah.
that's what they find at these road checking stations
Yeah,
quite
I've seen
often in the middle of the night when they're out
Yes.
there. They're not DWI checkpoints anymore. They can call them whatever they want. They're infractions checkpoints. And they find a whole lot of people expired driver's licenses. And the one that really gripes my backside, kids in unrestrained seats or kids that are not restrained in the back seat.
Oh, that just
At
bothers
2
me
o'clock in the
so.
morning at a road check station?
Yeah.
Give me a break. No. No, come on, pull over.
Mhm.
Well, Ray, for sad news,
Mhm.
I think I sent you the story yesterday, but the driver of that moped from that wreck last week has passed
Up there in
away.
Swansboro.
Yes, right
Yeah.
there at Hubert. I think it was 172 and
Hubert,
24.
Right.
And Angela Perkins has been charged, of course, now for 2 deaths. But yeah,
She was the
tragic.
driver of the other car that ran into the back of the moped that was occupied by 2 people.
That's
Mhm.
right. That's
Very
right.
The
sad.
passenger dead on the spot, and the driver has passed away at Naval, I think.
Yeah. Yes. Well, he was. I believe he was airbagged, and
Oh, that's right. He was.
I think
was
did he go
taken-
to Wilmington?
Yeah, he
I think
did.
Yeah.
Taken from the
Wilmington.
trauma center, taken
Yes.
to the trauma center at Naval, and then transported to Wilmington.
Yes.
Mhm.
Very sad news. Very, very.
Mhm. And I don't know that she was running at excessive speed, but on a moped or a motorcycle, even, you don't have any defense. You understand that, right?
Right.
Right. There's no
You-
protection.
You could be overtaken by a flock of birds, and you don't have any protection from them. Seriously, it's. I don't. And I got to be driving a motorcycle or something like that. A two-wheel. I would like to be on one where other two-wheel vehicles are the only people allowed.
If you ever see me on a motorcycle, it's going to be one with 4 wheels. You know those.
Mm.
No.
Yeah.
My former husband, he owned the first Honda shop here in Jacksonville, and that was many, many, many years ago. And when he'd get on one of his motorcycles, and it was enough to scare anybody. I was like, nope, it was just never my
I
thing.
don't do it. My former boss.
I know a lot of people feel safe and they're smart and they drive them like they should, but I was never really comfortable on one.
Former boss, the manager of the TV station in Wilmington, where I worked at the time, in 2008, January, he's riding his motorcycle, and he was in a pack. They traveled out on Sundays, Saturdays, and whatever.
2443. I know that number.
They would drive around.
Jennifer.
They'd drive around the area, and they'd take little road trips, and they're driving as a pack. And he was out there, and he slipped off the road up in Pender or Duplin County, I forgot which. His motorcycle just slipped off the road, so he jerked it back on the road. He was
That's
thrown
tragic.
and killed,
That's
broke his
tragic.
neck, and I'm like, he was 2 days older than me.
You talk about slipping on the road. That reminds me, and I know Kelly knows this too. People who blow their leaves into the street,
Yes.
stop.
And the grass.
Yes,
Don't
and the
do
grass
that.
clippings.
That's dangerous for
I
motorcyclists.
won't do it anymore, or any less.
Jennifer's here to save the day.
Hey, Jennifer, what's up?
Good morning.
You had
I was making some coffee, and Terry hollered, and he said, "They're talking about you." And so then I had to rewind it. I said, "What are they talking about?" And he said, "Well, I don't know, something about cooking." So then I had to jump on. right
okay.
quick.
Those little
and
dishes,
rewind.
those little dishes that people
Ramekins.
who
Ramekin.
ramekins. There
Thank
go.
you.
I knew you'd know.
Yeah.
I knew that bloody well. You know what they are.
Little ramekins.
Yep. Okay. For
So,
individual
but
things.
I was going to tell you, I found out something
Okay.
in East Tennessee. It's been a long time since I lived up here.
Uh-huh.
So my sister, for lack of anything else to call we're doing Thanksgiving at her house, and she asked me the other day, she said, do you think you can do some collards? And I said, well, yeah, of course. Didn't think anything about it. Well, guess what?
What?
I had not paid any attention to it. So in Onslow County, you can't go past an intersection with somebody without somebody sitting out there with a
This
pickup truck. And
this
a
time of
trailer.
year, yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you had to order them from Onslow County?
Well, no, I will know next time. So we tracked down some at she actually went to the Food City on her lunch break yesterday, and she said they've got some, but I don't know. I said, well, we'll run by there because Terry had Googled it, and it said that Kroger's had some. Food City was closer, so we ran down here to the Food City, and I looked and looked and looked, and I finally
Please
found
do
this
not
low
Okay. I was gonna-
bin of collars.
Phew.
I asked the guy, because, it's busy, it's Thanksgiving week. Produce guy was there, and I looked at him, and I said,
Where
hey,
are
man, I
collars?
said, is this all the collars you got? And he looked at me like, oh, my God, somebody's buying these things? And he said, well, let me go look in the back. They have 3 little bunches right there. So he goes in the back, and he finally finds another, like a case of them. He brings them out like a plastic thing. I looked at him and I said, honey, are these I said, do you know, are they local collars? Because I'm a Piggly Wiggly girl. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
I knew who grew ours. And he goes, well, I don't know. They say product of USA. And I thought, well, do you think? Come on now. And so I got what he had, put them in the cart, thanked him, told him happy Thanksgiving. I thought I can work with this. Got me a head of cabbage because I thought they looked like they're probably going to be bitter. Put some cabbage in them. Went over there to the meat department. And I started cruising down. Through
Couldn't
the
find
meat
a ham
department.
hock, huh?
Uh-oh.
And I looked and I looked and I looked and I thought, well, now what is up with this? Well, they have a little display where they have what comes in prepackaged, the fat back and all of that. So I went down and they had sliced ham hocks. I thought, gosh. So I got me a couple packs, and there was 2 meat men standing over there. They were working the counter.
Meat men.
I walked over and I said, honey, I said, is this the only ham hock? I said, y'all don't have ham hocks out in the meat case? And he looked at me like I had coming out of my head, 3 eyes.
Yeah.
And he said, we've got them. I said, honey, I've got these right here in my hand. I said, are you telling me this is all you got? And he said, yes, ma'am. And I said, okay. So I want to make it work. But I thought, to Tammy yesterday after she got home from work, she called me. I said, you want a good time? I said, go into Food City and ask them for ham hocks and collards. And
Now, where's Food
I
City
never
at?
thought about it.
In
But see,
Tennessee.
they cook a lot of mustard, mama and mama.
Right.
I grew up mustard, turnip, stuff like that. And I remember then the first time my daddy came over during the holidays to North Carolina. Now, Daddy was raised in northern Mississippi. And we were going down the road, and he said, did that sign say collards? And I said, well, yes, sir. And he said, good Lord, Willie, that's depression food. And I said, well, Daddy, they eat them like hotcakes over here. And, I mean, of course, he ate them, and, of course, they were how good they were. But it's just funny, less than 7 hours away, the difference. And you would think, I told Tammy, I said, Lord, this is Appalachia. This is mammal country, for crying out loud. You would think they would have ham hocks, but no fatback, but not ham hocks.
Well, I thought you
Mustard,
were.
turnips, but not collards. So it's just funny, the difference in, and Lee, I call it dressing, and stuffing. It just depends on. But most of the time, I'll lean towards dressing, put it in a pan.
I told you.
I'm all
You don't know
responsible for
anything.
dressing.
Stop.
I told you that if it was dressing, it went in a pan. If it was stuffing, it went in the turkey.
You said, never mind.
Yeah, we call it dressing.
Well, now I call it either one, but
Mhm.
normally if I'm it's turkey and dressing if I say it like that.
Right.
If you cook it
If-
right and
if
put
I'm
enough
doing
gravy on it, it's good.
Yeah, who
Stovetop, I
cares?
call it stuffing. But the homemade deal in the pan that I'm responsible for Thursday, I call dressing.
Yeah.
Okay, when
I
you
don't
talk,
know,
when you talked about not
Tammy
getting,
asked me.
go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, Tammy asked me. She said, "Do you remember how Mama did the dressing?" I said, "I didn't write it down, but I watched her enough."
Yes.
I said, "And I'm just going to sprinkle that sage till the
Oh,
spirit
yes.
of my ancestor tells me to stop."
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you mentioned that you were having problems finding collards and you headed for the grocery store, I said, "Uh-oh, I know what's coming.
Oh, yes.
Well,
Collards in a can." Have you,
No.
have you seen
Lord,
that?
No.
Have you seen that?
No.
Yeah,
I have.
you can get
I
them.
have.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, I walked by that aisle. I said,
Margaret Holmes
"This is
has
funny."
all of them, the collards and the mustard and
Mm,
mixed greens and all that. Yeah, yeah.
mm.
Yeah. And
Well-
they used to sell a lot of them at the pig. But it was funny because I thought, man, I mean, it was just, and for so long, I ordered my collards because I'm telling you, the deli and Piggly Wiggly in Richland, they make collards make you want to slap your granny. I
Oh
mean,
my
good
gosh.
Oh my.
and especially when you're working 50 plus hours, if you can order something that you know that's going
Right.
to be that good, that you know that those ladies are back there actually, they're fresh collars that they're cutting and a looking and a washing and a cooking, and they're going to be that good. Well, I just skipped out on cooking collars. I'd order mine.
Mhm.
I'll tell you who else.
Porch collards and be good to go. But I'm having to cook them this year.
Mission Barbecue
No,
does a pretty
Piggly
good
Wiggly
collard
Day.
too.
Well, there are two collards that I like. The one I can't because my grandmother passed away in 1980 something, 1979, whatever. And then the other one is at the Carib Sea, the restaurant on up top, where I've done some remotes at. They had something called Uncle Tom's Cabin, or maybe it's just Tom's collards. Tom's
Mhm.
collards. And they use it to put for their oysters, for the oyster
Oh, okay.
Rockefeller, which you can order just a plate or a bowl of them. Now they be good. They're seasoned. They're ready to eat as you get them in the bowl. And whatever Tom's recipe was just like that recipe at Seagate, North Carolina. That's down there between Wrightsville Beach and Wilmington. Actually, it all blends together these days. But
Well,
whatever.
now, I tell you, I've cooked good collards. I've ate good collards, but I will put Piggly Wiggly and Richlands, their deli. I'll put their collards up against anybody.
Good to know.
Well, I
Good to know.
may have to give it a whirl. 'Cause
There's
I
people
haven't had any
listening.
lately.
I'm not lying to you. As I say, now it's been a minute since I worked there because I had to quit when Terry had a stroke. But I know I ordered them since he's had his stroke.
Uh-huh.
And you go up there and they've got a poster board with orders written down.
Oh,
and I
wow.
mean, these people coming in there picking up like 6 and 8 quarts at a time. I mean, they start taking orders for collards a month or so in advance, and it's the same for Christmas.
Oh my.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a big deal. It's a big deal getting your collards up there. So,
All right.
so if you're ever in a pinch, you don't have time to cook them, don't want to cook them, whatever.
They sneak
order
up
you
the
some
house.
from the deli.
Yeah.
They do.
Cook
They do.
outside.
Well,
They do.
Jennifer,
Well, I cook them inside.
I just want to let you know real quick, I got the box last night. Thank you so
Did
much.
you?
Yes,
She
ma'am.
got her wreath.
It's beautiful.
Oh,
I
good.
haven't put it up yet, but as soon as I do, I'll take a picture.
Well, thank you. And Kelly, I'm going to tell you, I was going to send you some pictures,
Yes.
and all I can tell you is tell me what you want, and I'll fix it and send it to you, because I have never been to a show like Christmas Connection. They opened that door, and I had sold 4 wreaths within the first 20 minutes.
Wow.
Nice.
I mean,
Okay.
those women come through there, and I was going, oh, my goodness. Okay, so this is what this is all about. And
You have
I
to work
mean,
harder.
Very good.
it was. I had more in my van and didn't have time to get. I couldn't leave my booth to get to the van to get them. I had to wait for somebody to come by that I knew to stay there with Terry for me to go out
Mm-mm-mm.
to the
Wow.
van. And it was a 2-day show, and it was that intense. So
Okay,
tell
I
me
will.
what you want.
I'll send it
fix
to you.
and send it to you.
Okay, I can do that. I'll message you today. That works.
All right, honey.
All right, thank you.
But,
Thanks,
all
Jennifer.
right.
Thank you, Jennifer.
All right,
And those are Ramadans, right?
I call them ramekins. I don't know.
I know what they
No,
are.
you
They're
did.
Yeah, we
ramekins.
call them ramekins.
Yes,
Ramadan. I was just being smart out there. Thank you, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
Bye,
All right,
Jennifer.
honey.
You have a good one. Bye-bye.
I think we're at Chris Miller calling us now.
It's a Miller time on a Tuesday.
Yes. We'll take Miller time every day.
Where'd he go? I heard him click.
He's still showing on there.
Well, that's because I haven't disconnected yet, but it's going to disconnect.
All right.
So he'll call back. Let's do a quick weather. The marine forecast brought to you by Community Prevention Services of Jacksonville. While the holidays are a joyous time for many, it can be a time of depression and stress for others. We know how that works. Childhood traumas may resurface. The stress of gift buying and dealing with relatives you would rather not be around all can contribute to feelings of sadness and depression. Left untreated, it can sometimes lead to self-harm attempts. It's important you know the signs of depression and look for them in family members and friends who may not seem like themselves. If you suspect a loved one may need some help, you should know about Community Prevention Services Incorporated. Community Prevention Services staff can help you and those around you cope with and navigate feelings of depression. They are here to ensure you know people care and that they want to help. No one is alone. They should not be alone. And Community Prevention Services wants people to know this. Call to schedule a time to meet. 910-353-0972. That's 910-353-0972. Offshore, out to 20 nautical miles, small craft advisories in effect through this afternoon. Westerly winds today, 15 to 20, gusts to 25 knots, seas 3 to 5 feet. Sounds choppy tomorrow. Looking better. Easterly winds 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 3 feet. Sounds and rivers only a moderate chop. Thursday, southwesterly winds 20 to 25 knots, gusts to 30. Seas 3 to 5 feet, building to 5 to 7 in the afternoon. Near shore seas 2 to 4, building to 4 to 5 in the afternoon. Sounds and rivers, they're going to be simply rough. Spend the day with your family and your friends and eat turkey.
Today, increasing clouds with a high of 71. It'll be southwest winds 6 to 9 miles an hour. However, we could have 15-mile-an-hour gusts. There's actually a 50% chance of rain today.
Oh,
that's
really?
interesting. I know. I didn't see earlier. Tonight, mostly cloudy, low of 42. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high of 66. Tomorrow night, mostly cloudy, low of 53. And then showers and possibly a thunderstorm on Thanksgiving Day. Otherwise, mostly cloudy, a high of 73 with southwest winds 9 to 14 mile an hour and 20 mile an hour gusts. And later on, we will talk about what this
Cold.
23 on Sunday
Cold.
night. I can't take it.
I hope
You need to go back home.
I know,
I
right?
hope
I'm
you've
thinking,
covered your outdoor
gracious.
spigots.
Turn the water off in
I'm
the street.
telling you, good Lord.
Hey, Chris, what's up?
Hey, good morning. I know it's not my usual day to call in and talk about football, but
It's always
wanted to
Miller
talk-
time.
That's
wanted
right.
to talk more important about football than something more important than football, and that's Thanksgiving. And all this talk about turkeys and Thanksgiving gave me a great idea, Rayford.
Uh-oh.
A great way for you to expand your audience. You need to have a turkey drop.
A turkey
A
what?
turkey drop.
A turkey drop. You need to take a page out of the WKRP Cincinnati
Uh-huh.
TV show and have a
Uh-huh.
turkey drop. The famous TV show.
That was the most famous
Episode. Yes.
of any one of those funny shows that I have ever seen in my entire life, and I've seen them all. None of them are memorable except that one.
Yeah.
That was. I think that one was October 1978 when that aired.
I don't
That
remember.
episode, yes.
But
Yep, 1978. Yep.
I remember that one.
1978, and just And as Lord is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly.
Yes. Yes.
They had that show down pat. They always came back at the end of the show would end. I mean, the normal ending of a show, right? Yada, yada, yada.
Right.
The characters kind of walk off. Then they play a commercial. The final break is what they call it. And then they come back after the terminal break. Before they continue with the station ID and move on to something else, these guys would come back together, different set, different scene, different whatever, but a continuation. And they always had something to say. And the day that they dropped the turkeys into the parking lot, and Les Nessman, bless his heart, the radio announcer, the radio newsman,
Yes.
who described it like he was describing the Hindenburg crash. If you've never heard that audio, you need to pull that up too. But he was describing it like that. They're falling. They're coming from the sky, Mike. Oh, they're landing. They're hitting cars. People are running. I mean, he went on and on and on. You could visualize it if you weren't there.
Turkeys away.
And then he said, "These are turkeys." And they mounted an attack.
Oh my
Counter
gosh.
attack. But when they came back after that last commercial break, and the manager of the station and the crew walked in together, and he said, "As Lord is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly."
Right.
That was the most funniest show. They need to get that out all day long Thanksgiving. Be better than Macy's Thanksgiving Parade.
CBS is not televising it this year. Just saying. But
really?
anyway, yeah. Turkeys away, Chris.
Right.
Every year around this time, especially when you guys start to talk about the Thanksgiving turkeys, that it reminds me of that episode, and it definitely is a classic one. So I definitely wanted to call in and remind folks of how funny that episode was.
Oh my Lord. It is absolutely hilarious. Every character on that show was
Unique.
I actually worked with everybody on that show at different places and
Right.
broadcasts. There was somebody exactly like every character on that show that I worked with. Not all at one time, thank God. But there was we had them everywhere. They're funny.
Mm. That was a good one.
It's probably like, what was the TV series about newspapers? The character, the old curmudgeon, who was the
Ed
Asner, yeah.
Yes. Wasn't that the
and
mirror?
they had the photographer who was what was his name? What they call him? Animal.
Animal.
I think that was the show he's
Yes.
on. Anyway, I guarantee you work with characters just like that at the Daily News. In fact, I know you did because I knew a few of them.
Now, we had some good, back when we were going in the newsroom, and newsrooms were packed, and I do. While it is nice to be able to work from home and work remotely, I do miss those days where you come in and you had a good newsroom,
Yes.
a full newsroom.
Yes.
You could always, we all work together, and we could always beat our heads against the same wall, and and just kind of shoot the stuff during when you wait for the print edition to get done. So it definitely was a lot of fun, all those years ago.
How many times when you were there when the first paper came off the press, that were you there and somebody would say, "We got an
Stop
error"
the
or
press.
whatever?
I had to do that a couple times. And
Wow.
it is cliche, stop the press.
Stop the press.
But
You hit a button.
in the heat of the moment, that's the only thing you can really think of to say
Mhm.
when when that machine needs to stop right away, because you either breaking news or a major error, and so like I said, it was cliche, but I mean that's the only thing that you stop the press. I mean, that's just what you say.
Back in the day, you had proofreaders, and the proofreaders sometimes they needed to have their proofs proofed again. But you know how that is. Anything can get by. And before the days of spell check, oh no, you had proofreaders.
Mm.
And the one classic one that I remember, and I can't say it exactly, but you will get the message. Sometimes people would write articles on the day that President Nixon got off Air Force One, and he came down and he was describing his suit and all that sort of good stuff. Why people ever thought that was necessary. I don't know, but people read it. It was common. And whoever wrote the story described his blue shirt, but they left out the R in the newspaper, page 1 of the Daily News.
No.
If you know what R they left out, it was in shirts.
Oh, yep, yep.
Yeah. I saved that article for years, and then it got lost in the shuffle.
Oh,
It was a classic.
I had my moments back in the day.
Oh, we all
when,
have.
You can imagine when you do track and field and you do the shot put.
Oh, yeah.
You can imagine the.
I do. I can.
The mistake there. And,
Yeah, but
there were some great memories being in the newsroom, and we like the different characters, the page designers, the pagination people. They were some characters, and they never wanted to be told. I mean, that's hard work. I mean, Rayford,
yeah.
it's hard work putting that newspaper together.
It
and
is.
Make everything fit, and if you come up to them and say, "Hey, you made it," you had to gently tell them, "Hey, this needs to be fixed," and they would still bite your head off. I mean,
Yep.
they don't mean it personally, but they're just kind of in that moment. But one of my favorites, you hate to laugh at somebody passing away, but when Al Lewis passed away back in 2006, he's the one that played Grandpa Munster in The Munsters.
Oh, he was creepy.
One of
He
our
was good.
pagination people ran his mugshot, ran his headshot as Grandpa Munster instead of the real
Aw,
regular
I like
photo.
that.
So,
Yeah.
That's what he was famous
It's
for.
what he was known as.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
we run mugshots of when Dolly the sheep, the clone sheep several years ago. We ran
oh,
a
God.
mugshot of Dolly the sheep and ran mugshots of horses. So like I said, those pagination people were some characters.
Yeah. Yeah. I think sometimes people did things just to see if you get caught.
But it's all in fun. So,
It is.
I just wanted to share some of those stories. And,
Sounds good, Chris. Thank you.
And share
That was
the Turkey
funny.
Chop episode.
So, are you going to be out when the team is practicing on Thursday, Thanksgiving afternoon?
No, they will be
morning.
practicing
I'm sorry,
at
morning.
8 o'clock in the morning on Thursday.
Uh-huh.
Chris is gonna
went by
sleeping
practice
in.
yesterday and got some photos of some of the guys
Saw it.
practicing. They will be practicing 8 o'clock on Thursday morning, and then they'll have the game Friday evening. So I won't be there on Thursday morning just because there's some stuff that we need to be doing. But I think those kids are going to enjoy practice on Thursday.
I'm sure they will. Then they can go home and eat and sleep.
What a great day, though. Get up and go practice football, then go home and eat turkey.
Yeah, and then sleep.
Ah,
You
and
gotta
then
sleep after that.
all excited about the next game.
They'll probably turn some football game on and watch it through the first quarter and go to sleep.
Chris, just so you know, Fred, Robbie, and I have
Oh.
bought heated stadium seats,
Bun warmers.
bun warmers. I tell you who brought that to my attention was Steve. He had sent me a thing from JCPenney
Uh-huh.
about it. So I sent it to you. And we have bun warmers coming in because it's going to get cold.
And Robbie charged them up and tested them out last night, and the things will last on high power 4.5 hours. So I'm good.
Good. I want to see your battery. I think it's exactly what I have. So,
We'll see.
yeah.
Okay.
So it should be a big crowd on Friday.
Yes.
Well, you better be.
No one else is playing in the county, so come out and support the young men and see what you do Friday night.
Definitely.
It would be nice if all of Onslow County's people,
We need
fans,
to.
I don't care what
We
team
need
you Onslow County, come on out. Let's
I
cheer the
pushed
team
it on
on.
some of my pages.
let's-
Yes.
let's
Let's fill the
push-
bleachers.
Fill the bleachers with Onslow County's residents.
Right.
We got a football team, and it happens to be one from one of our schools. And by the way, it has moved up in rank from number 42 to number 33. It jumped
See?
9 after last Friday night's game.
And that's out of how many?
I don't know.
How many, Chris?
Well, it's there's different rankings, so I
Yeah.
would assume that's a Max Prep one.
Yes,
so
it
I
is.
would,
It's a Max
I
Press
think
one.
that's the 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A.
Yes.
1A, 2A, 3A, 4A. So a lot of those 4A schools will kind of get the benefit of the doubt and take a lot of those top spots, even though, just because they're the 4A team. So,
Gotcha.
look, this is the third round. you win the next week, you go to the fourth round, which is the regional semifinal, and then you win that, you go to the state semifinal. So you have to win 6 to be a state champion, and so you have to win 5 to get to the state final. So this is it's still early in the process, but we'll see how the Cardinals do on Friday night.
So are we going to practice on Christmas Day?
No.
No, but but the state
Sacrilegious.
championships are December 20th or 21st. So
Oh, okay.
there'll be 1 or 2 on the 20th, and then 1 or 2 on the 21st.
Okay. Well,
They're usually played a week earlier in December, but again, because the season was extended for a week because of all the hurricane stuff in the western part of the state.
Yeah.
That's what happened. So that's going to be kind of interesting if we have Jacksonville go that far and
yeah,
play in
that
the
would be
state
great.
final.
Let's go. Let's roll. All right. Thank you,
All right.
Chris.
Well, thanks for this story and the memory on WKRP. I'm gonna have to watch
Yeah,
that
of course.
again.
I got to pull
Y'all
that
have a
down.
good Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I put
All
the
right.
link
Happy
on our
Thanksgiving.
Facebook page.
All right. Talk to you later.
I put the link in our comments on the Facebook page and
to the
YouTube if
story?
anybody wants to go watch the
Oh,
episode.
Lord. Yeah, sit down and watch it in its entirety. You will
Yes.
just,
It's
and
funny.
if you can put it up on your big screen,
Yes,
do that because
Yes.
it's really worthwhile. It's cool.
I'm definitely gonna have to watch that again.
Y'all remember these couple of activists who vandalized the National Archives rotunda back in February? They dumped
Yeah.
red powder
Red-
on the
yeah.
I remember
encasement,
that, yeah.
protecting our U.S. Constitution. Well, the wheels of justice can barely turn over at times, but in this case, 35-year-old Donald, I'll go for it, Zapita of Maryland, and 27-year-old Jackson Green of Utah were sentenced to 24 months in the big house.
Good.
They got a bunch of other stuff
Not
to
enough,
go with it,
but
but
good.
if they stay there, this pair will come out different men.
Yeah.
They'll carry another burden with them for the rest of their lives. Each has to pay for the $58,000 it took to clean up and repair the damage they did. Both are banned from museums, not only in the District of Columbia, but from the entire United States. No museum can they go into. If they do, they go to jail.
Very good. They don't deserve.
Zapita and Green
The
are members
privilege.
of Declare Emergency, a group of activists that claim to raise awareness about climate change by engaging in a variety of criminal offenses, primarily in D.C. Why don't you bring it down here, boys?
Yeah.
Perhaps some folks out there could form a group of realistic Americans, call it Declare This, and explain why
Declare
destroying
something.
someone else's property can prove to be really bad news for you.
Right. I believe people have the right to protest, but do it peacefully. Don't break the laws. Don't destroy stuff.
They want to do it. They
Don't
say they want to
vandalize.
engage in criminal activities,
Well, guess
various
what?
criminal activities.
Enjoy your 24 months.
Uh-huh.
And I hope it's to the very last day, 24 months and no early release.
To the
Spend
bitter,
your next 2 Christmases in the big house
to the bitter end, right?
and to the very bitter end. I agree. People just ridiculous.
And you missed it. The actor who just won't get real,
I heard
Alec
you.
Baldwin, known for a lot of things,
Yeah.
not all of them bad, perhaps. He thinks that Americans have a misunderstanding of the world's most pressing problems. Really? The reason for this, he explained at a recent event that he attended, is that they're uneducated and led astray by the mass media.
Uh-huh.
So let me get this straight. Alexander Ray Baldwin, his middle name is spelled R-A-E.
Oh.
Alexander Ray Baldwin is a 66-year-old American actor, comedian, and movie producer. For 3 years in the 1970s, he was a busboy at Studio 54 in New York. Other than that and acting, he's hosted a couple of podcasts, filled in on talk shows. In other words, he's a professional.
He's a game show host too. Found that out when I was sick. Yeah.
Okay, so what mass media led Americans astray? What mass media led Americans astray? The media that did everything it could to convince American voters that anybody but the evil Donald Trump would be a good president, just the person to straighten this country out? Is that the mass media he's talking about? The old fool certainly has some nerve showing up and saying anything after picking up a loaded gun, playing with it, cocking the single action revolver, and pulling the trigger. One woman is dead because of his reckless behavior. Does he think that's funny? How about that, Mr. Comedian? How about that, Mr. Game Show host? And you think that the people in this country, the good people in this country, are the problem? Take a look at the mirror, Bubba. There is our problem. Y'all got anything cool?
Yeah, I've got something. I follow a lot of trials on TV, and I watch them live. And I didn't watch this whole trial. I just watched the very end of it. But a woman, Susan Lorensk, she was sentenced to 25 years in prison on Monday. She was found guilty of fatally shooting her neighbor. Her neighbor and her had disputes ongoing about the children playing in the grass, or Jay Owens, the neighbor, her children playing on Susan's lawn. And you have to take into consideration now, the woman that she shot was Black. The woman who committed the crime was white. And there was a lot of racial overtures during this whole thing.
Really?
But let me tell you what happened. See if you find this justice. The woman, the neighbor, A.J. Owens, had walked up to Susan's door. They had been arguing. Susan was inside her house. The door separated the neighbors, and it was locked. But Susan felt threatened and shot her neighbor through the door and killed her in front of the neighbor's son.
Was AJ armed?
No.
Was
No.
AJ trying to kick the door in?
No. See, the jury said that the reason why they found her guilty is because at that time, her neighbor posed no threat to her whatsoever.
Of course not.
She wasn't attempting to
Nope.
come into the house, and the woman who was found guilty could have removed herself away from the front door.
Well, that jury acted wrongly then, because if they had found that she was in danger, or she perceived herself to be in danger because the woman had a gun or a knife or an axe or whatever, then she does not have to remove herself from anything.
Well, this is
So
what
that's
the judge
Castle
said.
doctrine.
The judge said that he found the shooting was completely unnecessary.
That is true.
In this case, Miss Lorensk was behind the door. The door was locked. She had already called 911. They were on their way. She knew they were on their way. She was in a relatively safe position, but for some reason, she went into her bedroom and got her gun and came back and shot the neighbor through the door.
She was fine up until the time she pulled the trigger,
Yeah, it was,
getting the gun in case she actually felt like come through the door.
right.
It's fine to protect yourself, but you don't do that until you don't shoot somebody through a door.
Well,
Correct.
the judge also said there was no indication that she did not understand what she was doing, of that shooting a person was against the law.
I'm just trying to figure out why she only got 25 years.
Yep.
Second degree murder, I'm sure.
She's charged with manslaughter. She was found
Really?
guilty of manslaughter. Yes.
No.
Yeah.
There was way too many other acts involved. Manslaughter is no.
Right.
Too many other acts involved in this whole thing.
She got a first
She went and
degree
got
felony
went and got a gun, then she had
manslaughter.
the opportunity not to shoot it, and then she took the opportunity. That is a deliberate act.
Correct.
Well, she could have gotten 30 years and they gave her 25. The judge did,
And
but it
she'll
was
be out
a
in 10.
first degree felony. If she lives, she's quite a little bit of an. She looks crazy to begin with, and she acted kind of crazy. I'm just saying from what I saw, but yeah.
What state was this in?
Florida, Ocala, Florida. Of course it was.
No, that one should have been. That one
I
should have been
agree.
second degree murder.
I agree with you, Rayford. That's
And,
weird.
Yes.
I don't know what the sentence would have been, but it depends upon what their structured sentencing laws are.
Well, the
which I
woman
hate.
that she shot was not trying to break the door down at the time that she
Okay,
was
so
shot.
that's fine.
That makes it even
So-
worse.
Yeah. So the neighbor just
Well, that's what makes her guilty.
Right.
She wasn't trying to break the door down.
Right.
She wasn't trying to get in.
Right.
She wanted to talk to her.
Just a lot of screaming and yelling going on, through the door.
I shot everybody that I got in a screaming match with. This population would be very
That's
small.
right.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the neighbor who was found guilty, really, 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 from the what testimony and stuff I saw with other witnesses, she just was really seemed to be a very prejudicial person.
Yeah, well,
It's a shame.
there's nothing illegal about being prejudicial.
No, there's
You gotta
not.
understand
But
that
she
those
just
are-
it
those
just
are just-
adds to her.
That's just stupid.
Her
Adds
character.
her
Yeah.
character
Mhm.
is one of the circumstances that are involved in this whole thing.
Yes.
Well, I got one for you.
Okay.
You're going to like this one. Last night on Interstate 95 in Wilson County here, a box truck
Oh.
crashed into an RV that was pulling towing a Jeep Grand Cherokee.
Yeah.
But that ain't the
sounds
problem.
like my kids.
Shut the road down because inside the RV, you're going to like this, 24 snakes to include a viper. So it was 24 snakes.
Bring me some more shells.
28 snakes total, 2 tortoises, 5 bearded dragons, 2 dogs, and a cat.
Y'all need to
Wow.
bring me some more. Give
Are
me
the
another
dogs and
box of
cat
shotgun
okay?
shells. Here.
Shockingly enough, all the animals survived.
Yay. thank
Um,
goodness.
The viper got loose, but the owner managed to somehow find it in the RV
Here, Viper,
prior
Viper.
to EMS arriving because the son of the owner was asleep in the back bed. You need to see, look at this. This is okay, that's their SUV.
Oh, Lord.
That's the box truck. The SUV is crushed like an accordion. It was a Jeep Grand Cherokee. It's literally like maybe half of 6 inches left. And it is the box truck somehow, I don't know how, the guy fell asleep driving the box truck. They determined that he
Yeah,
was
woke him
seriously
up.
injured. He was transported to hospital in serious condition. He's pending charges, clearly.
Sure.
He was driving what looks like one of those, Hertz truck, one of those big box
Right.
trucks. But I mean, so
Probably loaded with furniture.
they were driving like a big drivable RV, and they were towing behind it their car,
Mhm.
which now is no more. And I mean, it is smashed like a tiny accordion
Now, where were all the critters?
inside the RV, not in the truck.
Or that'd be
They
good.
were in there with all the people. There was 5
Yeah.
people in the RV. All
What's
these
RV look
critters.
like?
See, that's the car.
Okay, it's not my kids.
No, it's like a kind you travel across country on.
Yeah, my kids have a 5th wheeler, and they usually tow another vehicle, which they have a Jeep Cherokee. So
no,
Wait a
it's a
minute
Jeep
now.
Grand Cherokee blue
They have
one.
a 5th wheel.
the RV. That's what they call them. The ones that are self-contained. You get in, you drive.
Oh,
Yeah,
the 5th wheel is the one that hooks into the
that's
back
what I
of
thought
a
was one hooked
pickup
in.
truck.
Yeah, they're driving.
Inside the pickup truck.
Yeah,
Oh no! They're driving a great.
they have the
They have
regular
a
RV. Yeah.
I was
They have
going to say,
big one.
if they got a 5th wheel and they're towing another vehicle behind the
that
5th
cracked my driveway one day.
The 5th wheel
It's
is a
big.
trailer, basically.
Yeah.
So they had to
Okay.
shut down
Gotcha.
95 temporarily. And oh Lord, can you
Yeah.
imagine
What a mess,
finding out
what a
you got all
mess, what
these
a mess.
snakes? They were transporting the snakes from South Carolina to Pennsylvania.
Why?
Why?
I don't know. I can only, it doesn't say. I
Did
am
they eat them up
assuming,
there or something?
I think it's going to like
Ew.
maybe a facility, like
They have.
I don't know, a snake farm, but they had, bearded dragons. I'm thinking maybe it's like a show. You know how they
Likely.
Hey.
It's a
You know,
zoo or something.
let me tell you something Kelly would never do. Ride in a car with a bunch of snakes.
Nope.
At least not knowingly anyway.
Because something touched me.
Lord,
I'd be
I would lose it.
screaming. I'd
Mm-mm.
be screaming. Somebody tap me on the shoulder and
Uh-uh.
get my attention. I'd probably
Mm-mm.
knock them out.
I don't even like bearded dragons. I have a
Phew.
client that has one and tried to bring that thing into the office one time and tell me it's nice. No, it's not. It's
Nope.
creepy.
Well, a couple of things I used to not photograph when I was doing studio work
hmm
were I didn't like photographing anybody's pets. I made a couple of exceptions.
That's hard to do. You
well, that
get
is
to
hard
do
to
it.
do.
Yeah.
You would take Shockwave's picture.
Well, that's a different
Well, he's-
story. I do my
Yeah.
own.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
here's
If you
a
want to do
camera,
somebody
you do your
else's
own.
pet, yeah.
But I don't do that. I didn't do that because it was too time consuming.
It is a lot to wrangle
Really
the pet.
time-consuming.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
then there was generally going to be a little bit of mess on the carpet somewhere.
agree with
Because a
that, too.
dog and a cat, they're in a
Mhm.
strange location.
Correct.
And then
yes.
the one model that came in, and she had a snake.
Oh,
One of our models, she wanted that snake wrapped around her, and she wanted some photographs. I did that, and yes, I was
Not happening.
well armed, and I explained it to her up front. Don't let him get away, because the only thing I know about if he gets away is I don't catch him, I kill him. Got it? And she said, okay.
I feel like
He-
I
he
need to
won't-
pick my feet
I
up
know.
right now.
He won't get away. She said, he won't get away. And I said, well, not for very long. Not afraid of him. Like, just
Wasn't it
bang.
on that show, Landman? The first episode?
yeah.
something about-
No, that was Yellowstone.
Oh, Yellowstone. All the snakes.
Sleeping in that
Yes.
tent.
Oh, sleeping
that-
in that. Right, man, I was watching that on
That-
TV.
that
I was
stressed me
picking
out.
my feet
Yeah.
off the
y'all,
couch.
you were telling me about that before I
Oh,
watched it. And I said,
man.
okay, this is going to have to be funny.
Oh no,
I
that was
watched it.
Picking my feet
it was
up.
stressful, wasn't it, Rayford? I mean,
No.
it was.
Then I had to put them on the
Man.
coffee table. I was like, and then you get up and walk into the kitchen. You think you see something, you're jumping, and
I can't. That episode stressed me out. At least that one particular part did.
oh, I thought about you. I was
I-
like,
I can't. Gives me the heebie-jeebies.
All right, you know, the Christmas season is upon us, the time of year when we like to get together, break bread, and exchange gifts. Finding just the right present gets harder as the years go by. The older we get, the more realistic we become. The gift of planning ahead, planning for the future, is one of the most valuable gifts you can give your loved ones. Estate planning provides peace of mind, helps avoid those dreaded family conflicts, and ensures your wishes are honored during critical times. Right now, you can get a certificate that entitles the bearer to a basic North Carolina last will and testament prepared by Cheryl P. Colson under the supervision of attorney Samuel S. Popkin. Valued at $300, you can get it half price, 50% off. All documents can be securely filed with the North Carolina Secretary of State, the Onslow Clerk of Court, or the Register of Deeds as applicable. This offer does not cover complex estates or trusts. The original numbered certificate must be presented at the first consultation and is valid for 6 months after it is issued and is only valid for drafting and signing one will. It has no cash value and cannot be used for other legal services. For additional information, call the office of Samuel Popkin, attorney at law, 910-347-0100 or 252-647-6016. This is a legal advertisement brought to you by Samuel S. Popkin, attorney at law. The team wants to wish you and your loved ones a wonderful holiday season filled with peace and joy.
Like I said yesterday, that's
That's a good deal, right
it's
there.
It's
a
a
good
good
deal.
deal.
Plus, I thought, plus the
It's-
fact that you don't think about things like that,
No.
and
Mm-mm.
you really need to have stuff in order
Yeah, you do. You do.
in case the day
You-
comes
you
sooner
read-
than later.
You read about situations and you know, living with and dealing with the final stages and all of that. And even when there's a sudden unfortunate emergency situation,
Mhm.
like a wreck or whatever
I was going to
occurs,
say you could drive down Western
attack that
Right.
comes out of the blue. You
Right.
don't know. We know those things happen.
Yes, they do.
So it's best to have everything signed, sealed, and delivered. You'll be a lot better off.
Right.
Trump's incoming border czar is not just going to address root causes like former Vice President Kamala Harris did in the unofficial role. And that apparently is making a lot of people ticked off. They're so angry, in fact, that Tom Homan, says he's had to move his family due to death threats.
Good golly.
How about that?
That's a
Homan
shame.
says he'd switched his phone off after the news was made public, not just because of the phone calls, the texts, and emails from the thousands of ICE agents and Border Patrol agents who were excited about the rumor that I'm coming back, he said, but also because of those who did not want him back and were reportedly willing to resort to threats to make that happen. Oman was the acting director of U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement from 2017 to 2018, during which time he aggressively pursued deportation policies for illegal immigrants. No doubt that he'll make a lot of ways for those who don't want to adhere to U.S. rules and regulations. While Oman's position is not one that needs to be approved by the Senate, he will technically be working under Department of Homeland Security nominee Kristi Noem, the governor of South Dakota, if she is approved. It's going to be an interesting time
Fun.
when this cabinet is approved and come January 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd. They can't get it all done the first day or two or four,
Right.
Right.
but I can see some things happening. I see some possible things happening before all of that actually occurs. Because if they're making this much noise at this point in time, Katie barred the door.
Mm.
And just the folks over there in other countries, we're hearing reports now that what Biden's done in telling Ukraine to go ahead and use the missiles we gave them to shoot into Russia. We're led to believe that Putin is going to hold Trump responsible for that and is going to come after the United States. No, and no. Putin is not so dumb. He knows that if he sparks such a war, we will have to retaliate. And that's
Sure
not
he
what
will.
he wants. That's
No.
not what anybody else wants. China would like us to, Russia and the United States to get into a war. China would have a field day. They would love it. I have no doubt about it. And they would be, I could see them anytime, any day of the week as being the instigators. So, but we shall see what occurs.
Well, yesterday we were talking about the proposed meetings that were going to be held in Swansboro yesterday at the Rec Center in reference to that new development that's in that they're being proposed to build out there in Swansboro.
Yeah, the
And,
321 units.
Yes, 324.
800
Yeah.
people.
Mm-hmm.
How'd the meeting go?
Well, there was probably about a dozen people who showed up, and all their concerns had to do with overcrowding schools, the traffic concerns.
Which are
And-
legitimate.
Yes. So, but
The schools have got nothing to do with the town of Swansboro.
it's true. It's up to the county and the board
Yep.
of, yeah.
I think what the people are saying though is adding all these more homes, where are you going to put the students? Because the schools are so crowded.
They will have to
Well,
build
it's going to be,
schools.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're
But
gonna
they have
build
plans
more.
to build schools anyway as the need comes up. They're over the next 10 years, they got plans to build schools here, there, and everywhere because they've been anticipating this expansion, this growth
Right.
for quite a while. We've
I-
heard that.
Attendees of the meeting raised issues to include increased traffic.
Increased traffic is
congestion.
going to be something that is going to be probably a
Overcrowded
lot
schools.
slower moving to get resolved than
And
the school situation.
inadequate infrastructure planning to support
That-
the influx of new residents.
Now, that is a city problem.
To me, that's the biggest thing right
Well,
there.
Onwasa will
Yeah.
be there to take care of the water.
Yes.
So that's, they're capable of handling that kind of stuff. Police, fire, EMS. EMS handled by the county. Fire.
Yes.
mm,
So anyway,
Police.
it's not a done deal yet. I do believe, let me see, it says Flybridge Swansboro LLC must present the proposal to the Swansboro Planning Board on January 7th, which holds the authority to approve or reject it. So you've got
Now-
till then. If you still have concerns, I'm sure you can email the city of Swansboro,
Yeah.
their commissioners, and talk to them about it.
And you got the mayor there until first meeting and county
Next-
commission
yes,
meeting in
Monday.
January.
Monday.
Yep.
Monday is the swearing in.
Yes.
So you can reach out to
You got a
Mayor,
week.
Mayor John
I know.
Davis. You better
I was
hurry.
trying to go last night. I don't know what I was thinking.
It's this
but
coming
yeah.
Monday, 6
Yep.
p.m.
Wonder how the change in the board is going to be. Going to have 2 new commissioners.
Yes.
We got Chris Marks.
hmm
it's going to be. I think it's going to be a great board.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
We'll
It's gonna
see.
Be interesting to see how things go.
We will see.
Hello, Chris. How are you?
I'm good, Rayford. How are you and the ladies doing today? Welcome back.
Doing
Kelly.
good.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're getting ready for cold weather coming up this weekend.
Mhm.
I mean, super cold.
Yeah, 21 degrees for a
Oh,
low.
stop it.
It's craziness.
Sorry. There's a slight chance before the end of this year we'll see some snow flurries.
I think so. I've already predicted it in December.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah.
flurries in
I'm all
December.
about it.
Flurries by
I
December.
like to look at it.
Some parts of North Carolina going to probably get some over the Thanksgiving weekend.
Sure.
Mhm.
And I'm praying for the people in Western North Carolina.
Oh, yes.
They're those folks are still recovering, but we still do the best we can for them. For first, hats off for the Cardinals. Go Cards.
Yes.
Forward ever, backward never. Right, Lee?
That's right. I even
There
bought
you go.
brand new socks to have Jacksonville
Yeah.
Cardinals on them.
Well,
Ain't nobody gonna be able to see your socks. but okay.
I know I'm wearing them.
You wear them.
That's kind of like women in their underwear, isn't it?
Yeah, I've got-
Y'all-
When they have Cardinals on my underwear, you never know. I'm going decked out.
As the only other male around here, why do women have to spend so much money on those undergarments, as they call them?
Because it makes us feel good.
Ain't nobody ever sees them.
We don't want you to see them. It just makes us feel good.
Rayford, I take the fifth on that.
Tread lightly.
That'd be a good, Rayford. That'd be a good question for you to the listeners, and see how
Yeah.
many men reply.
Yeah.
Don't-
Who will
don't
change
count
their
more than
voices?
But I want to do a little update on the Wreaths Across
Yes,
America,
please.
if I could. So the total for the cemetery is about 2,600, which we know 6,000 is the amount, if not more, of the grave sites that are there. So I posted last night Morgan Starling for the Daily News article and a picture of the some of the grave sites right now that lie empty. And I just want people to kind of take a picture in their mind of these grave sites after the 14th. 12 noon is the ceremony. All the volunteers have gone out. Lee has gone out to her father's grave site. Kelly's gone out to her in-laws' sites and laid wreaths. Everybody's laid wreaths, and then there's half a cemetery empty. And the reason I say this is we're in a military town
Yes.
with over 63,000 active duty. That's not counting the retired military. And I know many listen to the program. If, obviously, numbers being real easy, 10% would be 6,000 if everybody did it of the active duty military. I've spoken in front of the county commissioners, talked to some of the local politicians at the Christmas parade Saturday. I'll just do it and then I'll ask for forgiveness later. I'd like to challenge our city council and county commissioners to at least buy one wreath.
Yes.
I know Kelly and Robin have. But the reason I'm asking, I had a lady yesterday from last night about 10:30 asked me to reach out to her from Sneed's Fish.
Mhm.
The old fishing, her husband's works at one of the last 3 fishing villages down there. And she was crying. She was so touched by Wreaths Across America. And she has, her father just passed away. He was in the Navy.
Oh,
And she
my.
wanted a wreath on that. Yeah. It's people just, I'm just flabbergasted that our community, a military community, cannot get these wreaths, these grave sites covered.
Yeah.
Lee in the past is in helping to get it done. You folks have been just the most valuable tool we've had at this point, along with Morgan Starling. No television station has picked up
Really?
on it. Well, I've tried. It's not
Oh,
a good
for heaven's
enough story,
sakes.
I guess, for them.
I saw one TV station do a story on it, but it was not here.
Yeah.
It was close by, but not here. And that was it.
Yeah. And I need to also make sure people understand I am not Wreaths Across America. My group, Wreaths Honoring Our Fallen Veterans, I'm just a group that guy started.
Well, what I
Wreaths
think,
Across America.
not to confuse people, you started this group in order to raise funds for the Wreaths Across America. So whoever purchases through your ID number, that goes straight to Wreaths Across America.
Yeah, they still get the money, but in
Yeah.
your case, and with your organization, with what you're doing, if I decide, and I did, to buy 2 wreaths, they're $17 a piece, so I can get 2 for $34. Okay, you can do that at Wreaths Across National as well. However, you do it through you, and they give you an extra wreath, so you get 3 for the price of 2.
Right. You're not
Hello.
the Wreaths Across America, but you are raising money for Wreaths Across America is
Correct.
what you're trying to
Rachel,
say. Yes.
And you both have put that so eloquently, because it's great. I for everybody that's donating, I don't care if it's my group or somebody else, thank you for donating, but you're only getting 1 wreath for that $17. You get 2 wreaths for $34. Only through this group will we get the extra wreath to cover for somebody else. And Morgan put my email out there, which is great. I have had some that I've questioned whether or not they're really I have to say it, hackers or not. And I will pick up the money. If I have to come to your house and pick up the money because you're having a hard time doing it online, I'll do it. It doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter the day or time.
Well,
I'll do it. And we'll do the paperwork for you.
I tell you, I had no problem whatsoever doing it. I went online. It took about 3 minutes, and that's because I was slow and popped the credit card number in. I did it right the first time this time, which is unusual for me. And it was cleared. It was done and I got receipt back. I got everything back. And I even got a thank you note personal from some guy named Chris Marks.
Yes.
Oh, and I thought maybe you would have gotten it from Miller time, but either one of us. I love Chris and I love Morgan from the Daily News. They do outstanding work.
They do.
I love Live and Local Real Talk. The farthest, I just want to mention, the farthest we've reached a donation from is actually Maine, and that is where their headquarters are.
Oh, good.
I've had a donation from there, and some from as far south as Florida. So there's people listening to your show.
Yeah.
There's people watching my Facebook page. And for those who are tired of my post every day, I promise after December 3rd, there will be no more posting about
you have
America
to.
until next year.
Until January 1st, January 2nd, or January 3rd, then we're going to start nice and early, and let's get this show on the road while it's still fresh in everybody's mind.
Yeah, I think Chris and I talked a lot about that, and Chris and I have a lot of ideas that once we put it together and get some other people to help us, I think we can start early in the year fundraising and putting it in the bank and setting it aside, or either sending it straight to Wreaths Across America. Even if it's January, February, send it to them, they'll hold it, and start fundraising for this. So this won't be such a tedious drive in the last month.
Well, it'd be nice probably to keep it local, keep the money on the account here, and then on whatever the drop date is,
Right.
and, start dropping it around the 1st of October or something.
Right.
So they get,
Right.
so we would know how many we've got and how many we got to get.
Yes. I mean, we need to make people more aware of what it's all about and the importance of honoring our veterans. I know we have a lot of veteran ceremonies during the month of November because of Veterans Day, and you've got the Marine Corps birthday.
Yeah, that's right.
You've got so many things, and we take that day to honor them.
Well, let's
We
just,
take that one day to honor them.
let's go back to Flag Day. Let's go back to the 4th of July.
Yes.
Let's go back to Memorial Day. Let's go back to every armed forces birthday.
But you know, Rayford, what has
It ain't
4th
all
of July
just for the
become?
Marines.
What has Memorial Day become? It's all about cooking out, barbecuing, having your friends over, having a paid holiday, and we honor armed services for that one day, and then we're back to forgetting about them again.
No, we're not. We're not going to let
Not
you.
everyone, but I mean, and this Wreaths Across America, once you place a wreath on the grave, it stays there
Uh-huh.
until I believe it's right after the first of the year. Chris, do you know the date that they pick it up?
No, yes.
It's
You're
usually
correct.
after the
Yeah.
first of the year, and they pick it up. And if you wanted to, if you bought a wreath for your loved one, you could let it sit there through the first of the year, then go pick it up
You can do that.
and take it home.
Be beautiful.
If
It would
you
be
wanted
beautiful
to.
for people to do that.
I mean, they're going to be picked up and thrown away anyway. So I have on a case. I did that one year. I went and got Dad's wreath after the first of the year, and I took it home and I hung it up for a while, and it was just nice.
Yeah.
It was nice to have it, So, but and as far as placing them on the grave sites, there's a protocol when you do that. You read the person's name and you thank them for what they've done for our country before you place the wreath. So a lot of it it's got so much meaning. And it's so beautiful to go out there and see those wreaths laid all the way across the cemetery. It will bring you to tears.
It will, and if that doesn't, this actual ceremony
Yes.
where they're honoring each branch of service with
Yes.
their hymn,
Yes.
and it's just, and then the families get to lay theirs. Then the volunteers go out, and boom, they are moving, doing it. The Boy Scouts, local men and women group, and anybody who wants to do it can do it.
Well, it's open to the public, yes.
Yeah, well, what we need is people to make the donations, whether your family member served in the military or not.
Right.
Just remember this: these people, these veterans who lay in peace there now, served our country,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
and there are men and women. It's not just men, and it's not just Marines, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard. They're all resting in peace there.
Right.
Let's let them know that we still care about them.
Right.
Thanks for your time again, as always.
Well,
Thank
just
you,
keep
sir.
reminding us. Keep calling so we can keep reminding
We'll
the
keep
people
talking.
out there.
We'll keep talking about
Okay.
it. No
Yes.
problem.
I appreciate that offer. And for the businesses that are listening, and many listen to Live and Local Real Talk, they go back and they replay it during the nighttime. See again, that listen to my friend Theo and Steve and Mike,
Yeah.
the rest of them, and
Yes.
of course the crew there.
We've got some great callers.
Any business that would like to donate, I will come back to their office, to their business, and I will pick it up and
That's good.
help and give them a W-9. If you need W-9, I'll get you one of those too.
Right. And that the W-9 is from the Wreaths Across America.
Yes,
So
ma'am. Thank
you
for
can,
that.
that's
You're
their
exactly right.
W-9. So you can use it for tax purposes.
Bingo.
There you go.
Anyway,
Thank you,
have a
sir.
blessed day. I'll let you
You too.
get
All
back
right.
talking about.
All right.
All right. Okay.
We're
Bye.
talking about weather instead. No snakes during the winter time. Not around here anyway, I hope. The Marine Forecast brought to you by Community Prevention Services of Jacksonville. While the holidays are a joyous time for most of us, it can be a time of depression and stress for a lot of folks. Childhood traumas may resurface. The stress of gift buying and dealing with relatives you would rather not be around. Yeah, I know some of you have some of those folks. All can contribute to feelings of hopelessness, sadness, and depression.
Mm-hmm.
Left untreated, it can sometimes lead to self-harm attempts, whether it's cutting or whatever, or worse. It's important that you know the signs of depression and look for them in family members and friends who may not seem like themselves anymore. If you suspect a loved one may need help, you should know about Community Prevention Services Incorporated. They're right here in Jacksonville. Community Prevention Services staff can help you and those around you cope with the problems and navigate the feelings of depression. They're here to help you. No one is alone. No one should be alone. And Community Prevention Services wants people to know about this. Call to schedule a time to meet, 910-353-0972. Offshore out to 20 nautical miles. No, Small craft advisories in effect through this afternoon. Westerly winds today, 15 to 20 knots, gusts to 25, seas 3 to 5 feet, sounds and rivers choppy. Tomorrow, better. Easterly winds 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 3 feet, sounds and rivers a moderate chop. Thursday, worser. Southwesterly winds 20 to 25 knots with gusts to 30, seas 3 to 5 feet, building to 5 to 7 in the afternoon. Near shore, 2 to 4 footers, building to 4 to 5 in the afternoon. Even if that sounds like not too bad, consider trying to get through the inlet. It's going to be like a washing machine on steroids.
Worse.
Sounds and rivers simply rough. Spend the day with family and friends on Thursday and eat turkey.
Eat and be merry.
Yeah.
How about that?
I got it.
And today we have a chance of showers this afternoon with a high near 71. Tonight, another chance of showers, mostly cloudy with a low around 43. Wednesday, mostly sunny with a high near 67. And Turkey Day, 60% chance of showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy with a high near 74. So the rain chances have just increased even more since Kelly's earlier weather. And it's increased even more now. So it looks like it may be. But you know what? You're going to be inside with family
I'm
eating
not.
turkey.
I'm going to be cooking turkey outside. I can't cook it inside.
What? You're just going to have to get those porch umbrellas up.
That's an idea.
It might be a little wet for Rayford. You don't know.
I certainly don't want rainwater hitting 350-degree oil. I can tell you
no,
that
would not
it's
be
always
good.
explosive when that happens.
Rayford, you plan on going to Bon Air next year?
I'm looking at it, seriously.
Well, you've got to have a new driver's license, a real ID. You've got to have that. Oh, do you already?
But I've also got a passport.
Well, okay. Well, by May of 2025, they're going to require, if you fly, you have to have the real ID, but you're taken care of.
Yeah, well, if you got a passport, you don't need a real ID either.
Well,
but if you're flying in the United States without a passport, you're going to have a real ID, and North Carolina has them, but you better go get it.
Yeah, if there's maybe every year you go to I used to go to Texas every year when my kids lived there and to visit them, and I would fly, of course. But now, if I was to do that again come next year, I would have to have
a different license. Don't you have a real ID?
No, I do not. I've never taken the time to.
Are you sure?
It's hard enough to go get your daggone DMV. Why do I want to go down there for a real
I didn't have any problems getting mine.
No, my luck. The day I would go, the computers would be down.
I got a special one.
Which reminds me, my 16-year-old grandson is going to get his license today. Good luck, William.
You're hoping he's going to fail.
No, I'm not.
Why?
I want him to get it.
Oh, and he's going to be another dang teenager on the highway.
His mom has taken him to Burkle. Well, he's been driving for quite a while now, of course, with a parent in the car.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's me anytime anybody gets a license.
He's probably going to drive exactly the same way without a parent in the car.
Let's just pray.
Okay, I'm running 33 miles an hour in a 35 zone, and that's safe, Grandma. Mama, isn't it good? Yeah, look at me. Until Mama's not in the car. 85 and a 30.
I just don't.
School zone.
You know, you thought having
Just
kids
kidding,
and
guys.
your worry and stress over your own children were bad enough. Wait till you have grandchildren. It multiplies.
Now, the one, I always give people advice, whether they want kids, young people, youngsters, when you go get your driver's license, that's good. This great state of North Carolina says you are legally entitled to drive an automobile.
Right.
It does not make you a safe driver. It does not make you a skilled driver. It does not make you an experienced driver.
We see that every day.
That comes with time.
Right.
That comes with time and experience. The same thing with scuba lessons. Okay. You can go take a scuba class and, in just 2 or 3 weeks of time in the pool, in the classroom, in the open water, with an instructor at your side, you can be certified. You can go diving pretty much anywhere in the world with that little certification.
Right.
That does not make you Jacques Cousteau.
Meh.
And you're saying, who the heck is that?
I
Look it up.
Yeah.
It does not make you Jacques Cousteau, and neither does your driver's license make you Mary Andretti or Jeff Gordon.
Hey.
Okay? It doesn't work that way. It gives you an opportunity, your first step at life. the wheel or under the water.
And I'm going to tell you, with being a new driver, is you need to learn how to be defensive. Defensive.
You also need, okay, take the glasses off.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Yesterday.
Let's talk about it.
You also need to learn how not to be rude. And that,
Thank you.
and I'm not going to just pick on this one person, but I am. And because this one person, and this is not indicative of everybody, okay?
Right.
This one person yesterday, I'll identify it because I hope he hears. He's got a little handicap sticker hanging down from his mirror.
Uh-oh.
That's not anything to do with it. That's just for identification purposes.
Right.
And driving a dark SUV over in the Sam's parking lot.
Here we go.
I'm loading up my vehicle with the $4 million worth of stuff, and it took me about 10 seconds to load it up. Butter is still
The one bag.
butter is still $14.48 for 4 pounds of it. Anyway, I was doing that, and there was a lady closer to the driver right in front of the store. I was about 7 or 8 cars in. She was like 3 cars in from that the normal driveway right in front of Sam's, right?
Right.
She's an elderly lady. She started backing out. There was a van parked right beside her, so her view was very limited.
It's always that way.
And
yes.
she was easing back. And then there was this SUV pulls up right there where she's trying to back out. Stalemate, right?
Right.
Mexican standoff, whatever you
Right.
want to call it. And he was getting rude and agitated,
Because she was backing
Trying
out.
to back
He couldn't
out.
wait.
trying to back out. And he just wanted to go.
Ah,
And so she was like, okay, what do I do? And she was getting like, okay.
right. Getting
Then
upset.
she pulls back up into the parking space.
A shame.
Then she parks there as he zooms on by.
Right.
And then she parks there. Okay. I started to head over there to direct traffic
Right.
and let
I would have done
said
it. Yes.
SUV come back around there and we would have a chat.
That SAB
That's the
SUV.
one. But anyway, she easily
Nasty.
backed out and nothing coming. And then she
Right.
started, and as she approached where I was, I started walking, obviously to the passenger side of the
Yes.
vehicle. To go to the driver's side, that would be stupid. Beside me, I just put my hands up, asked her, she stopped, and I said, roll your window down. She did, apprehensively, with
Yes.
foot on the brake, ready to take off too.
Oh, I would too.
And I said, I want to apologize for his rudeness.
Right.
And she said, what? I says, yes, that man was not what we call in North Carolina a North Carolinian.
Way to go.
So she said, thank you.
Oh, that makes me teary eyed. Whew. You know,
People drive like it's your mama that's out there having an issue.
right.
I don't care how young or whippersnapper or whether you've got a handicap sticker. I don't really care.
Right.
I don't care.
You know, rude driving. I think I've seen more than that lately than the reckless driving. But
Yes.
I'm just like, look, I'm just going to the store. I'm just going to go in here and park. No need to get rude and ugly and mean because I ended up parking where you decided you were going to whip around and pull in. I didn't know. But, you know, going down Western a couple days ago, twice within 1 to 2 minutes of each episode, I had someone come from the left lane
Yeah.
all the way across my front to get in the right lane to make a right turn. And I'm slamming on. So I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Really? You
Yeah.
just can't go up and turn around and come back since you made your turn? What is
Those that
wrong?
like to stop and back up in the road, the travel lane, because they missed their turn a little bit. And
Just go to the
I'm
next
like,
turn and come
right,
around.
This your death.
If I'm in the wrong lane and I need to be in a left turning lane or right turning lane, I'm not going to hold up traffic
I'm not
by
either.
pulling in there cockeyed and waiting.
Nope.
Just go on down the street. There's a
that's it.
place to turn around.
There are plenty of roads
Get me all
around here.
excited now. Oh.
Yeah. So just be calm down and be nice
Yes.
for a change.
And you know what? That SUV, how long would it have taken that woman to actually back out? and
15
then pull it?
seconds.
Yes. You couldn't just wait. That could.
It was kind of funny. There was Went to the grocery store, a second one, or third one, second one, and they got the self checkouts, right? So
Yes.
I waited for a self checkout because there were not many of those with people and I'm manning them,
Right.
womaning them, whatever they were. And so I went to. It's only one person at this particular line, so I said, "Well, I won't have a long wait." Well, she was having difficulty. She had like 5 items. She had
Oh,
$4 or $5 worth of stuff, and she could not get her credit card to go through.
right.
The lady came over to help her, but the lady was stymied with other people. They had one of the
Right.
lanes was broken, and I'm standing there. She said, you can go somewhere else." I said, "Ma'am, I'm not in that big a hurry.
Right. Yes.
You're fine.
Yes.
You're just fine. Just help her. You get her going." And the woman was older than I am, and so she was really older than dirt.
Just stop.
Well, I am. So is what it is. So, I just wait, for God's sakes. What's 5 minutes or more? I don't care. Or
Right,
2
right.
minutes
You
was
know
more
what?
likely, but what difference does it make?
By the end of the day, you'll be laid out in your recliner,
I
drinking your
will- I
cocoa,
will
watching something fun
never
on TV.
Miss that 2 minutes or 3 minutes
That's
or 5 minutes of
right.
my time. All right?
That's right. And with
Get
the
over it.
holidays coming up, I'm just saying,
There's enough
Black
stress.
Friday,
Nah, there's enough stress out here. We don't need
there's
any more.
going to be a lot of stress out there shopping. So take your Valium before you go or whatever, and
Take
just
a
try
chill
to be
pill.
nice.
Take a chill
Be
pill,
nice,
or don't
please.
go. Stay home. If that's
My
all it
sister
is
wants to
you.
go to a shopping
Good.
mall in Fayetteville, and I'm like,
Are you crazy?
well, we're just gonna kick back and let everybody pass us on the road, and hope we can make it, and hope we can walk by the end of the day, because that's gonna be a lot of walking.
910-333-0139. You got something you want to add, contribute, or whatever? Now's your time. 910-333-0139. Kelly is missing in action again.
She had to leave. She had an appointment with a client.
Yeah,
Which
I have a
comes
client
first?
appointment. Yep.
Right.
I thought we
um,
came first.
Well, yeah, from starting at 7. After that is anybody's game.
Okay.
Listen, you don't remember about a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about a funeral home in Kinston that had an issue with several bodies being found there?
The
that
leftovers, yeah.
leftovers. Here, this story just came out last week.
Hmm.
This is even crazier. This was in Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
A married couple who owned a funeral home. There was complaints of foul odors coming out
Oh,
from the
no.
funeral home.
No.
Yeah, the Fremont County Sheriff's Office responded to the reports coming from the facility, and they found nearly 200 decomposing bodies. Some of the bodies found had died as far back as 2019. What is wrong with these people?
Families, somebody just didn't come pick them up. They didn't have a funeral.
Well, I
What
would
do you
imagine
do?
it could be the case where, you've got the funeral home, you rely on them to have the viewing, and then you have the funeral. And who's to say that on these closed viewings that maybe the body until it's not there? I don't know. 200 corpses.
There needs to be more on that story.
Yes.
'Cause there's
Anyway,
something
it was
weird.
a married couple. The two pleaded
The
guilty.
Munsters?
They pled guilty to 191 counts of abuse of a corpse. The counts include
What
two
do they do with the
instances
corpses?
where the wrong bodies were buried.
Uh-oh.
This could be a problem. They
Well,
face
they don't
15 to
have-
20 years in prison.
Yeah, they don't have enough money to.
Sentencing is April 2025. I want to see that.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Why
and
do they wait that long? I can't get over that either.
can you? Following the discovery of the bodies, investigators uncovered a scheme in which the couple had been defrauding customers
Oh.
who believed their loved ones would be buried or cremated.
Gotcha.
The couple previously admitted in a related federal case to accepting payment for the services, but then never performing them.
So this wasn't just dereliction. This wasn't just.
Oh.
This was fraud.
Oh, in some cases,
Prison.
providing dry concrete mix
Yeah,
in urns
I'm sure.
in place of cremation. They admitted to collecting more than $130,000 from victims for creation of burial services, which they never
Is
performed
that all?
over a 4-year period. My advice is before your loved one is laid to rest, open it up and make sure.
Go find a
That's all I got.
reputable. Well, you know
This is
about
terrible.
my experience coming back from Bon Air.
Yes. Oh
So-
my gosh. You
My,
did have a time trying to escort.
I wasn't escorting him
Well,
back. I
well,
was just
trying to get
make
his-
him get back
Yes.
there, and they shipped the wrong body back from.
Yeah, that so frightening for me.
Mhm.
If I was expecting one person and somebody else was there, I would probably just die right then and there.
And
That,
it was
horrible.
and he was a Filipino too.
Yes, yes. I
Not my
remember that
friend,
now.
the other guy.
Yes. That was terrible
There
story.
can't be that many coming from a small island that you're going to confuse them. I wouldn't think. No.
Well, how do you mix them up? What do you put the wrong tag on the wrong?
Oh, I don't have a clue. President-elect Donald Trump's you know what? Y'all want to give us a call about something, feel free to do so. We got to get on to another topic.
Yes, let's do it.
So this one's going to really irritate some of you.
Yeah, let's do it.
President-elect Donald Trump's transition team is developing an executive order. They're working on one for the man to sign that would medically discharge the estimated 15,000 transgender service members from the military.
I thought Trump's not going to do it.
The sudden dismissal of so many troops would prove chaotic.
Yeah.
That's what the folks supporting LGBTQ plus service members say. And the military services would be forced to fill gaps and compensate for a loss of experience at a time when recruiting remains a struggle.
Well, there's big debates and all that.
Yeah, well, they say that no decisions have actually been made.
Right. I mean, if you sign up and you go out there to fight, does it make a difference whether you're a transgender or not? I mean, what do you think?
I would say not. I don't think it's whether the end result is what they're needing to deal with. It other morale issues.
Right.
It could be any number to deal with.
Right. Well, do you remember at one time where there was such a debate over women on the front line?
Well, yeah, and that debate has not gone away.
No.
Other accommodations have had to be made, but we have not been in a war situation like we were in, say, in Vietnam or World War II
True.
on the front lines.
True. It looks like Mike calling. Yep. Hang on, Mike.
Third time's the charm. Hey, Mike.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Doing fine. How are you?
All right. I just wanted to comment about the LGBTQ community in the military.
Yep.
I actually served with, and it was in my unit, Logan, Ireland, and Villanueva. They was the first people to come out as transgender in the military, and it's a big hoopla. They went and visited the president of the United States and all this other good stuff. I served with them in combat roles, and when they were still transitioning, and we never looked at them as other or anything or low unit morale behind it. We just treat them like everybody else, and it was never a problem. And there's plenty of people in the military like that, and I don't foresee it being a problem, and it hasn't been a problem. But with Trump doing the things that he's doing, and you got to wonder why would you do it? Why we had a certain prejudice against these people? If just let them be, let them serve like everybody else.
Mm-hmm. But we'll have to see.
Yeah.
He's not the one putting this order together. He's got a team that is studying it, and they're preparing a possible directive for him to sign. It's not one that he has orchestrated, not yet. I don't know what the background is on it. Have not a clue why they're doing it. I don't know where it all started. Did it start with him? I don't know. I don't know. You know, the problem with the president, he's got all the president's men, women, and others. You know, he's got so many people involved in his organization. I can just envision it being like a major corporation where you may have 30,000 people working for you, but you don't have a clue what 29,000 of them are doing.
Yeah, I guess the only difference between a corporation is they're not purposely going out finding right-wing extremists and alt-right individuals to head up certain operations to do things like this.
He's gone after right-wing extremists. Is that what you said?
No, I'm saying that I guess the difference between the corporation is they're not going out and seeking alt-right extremists or people from that sector to head up these certain operations and be in these certain positions. And it's pretty much what you get.
So that's what Trump is doing? What you're saying?
A lot of people are tied to the far outright movement and the what do you call it? What they call it now? They don't call them neo-Nazis anymore. They call them the word escapes me.
Okay.
There's a new term for them. But yeah, there's people that's well documented in that arena that are working for his
Give me some names so I can check them out. I don't know who they are.
Look them up, but
Yeah,
I
do
can
that.
give them to you.
Yeah, let me know.
Okay.
Let me know who they are.
That's good. Yeah. Well, definitely look that up.
Yeah, but when you look at these people, and he had plenty of meetings with them too prior to the election down in Mar-a-Lago and stuff. Things we was pointing out, like, why is he meeting with this guy, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, I mean, just you surround yourself with these type of people, you know, then this is what happens.
Well, I got to find out who
You
these.
gotta ask why were you-
I got to find out who these people are and what kinds of people, the types of people, as you call them, that they are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. It seems like I heard
Yeah,
something on it,
I'll look
but
them
I
up
didn't.
and
Yeah.
I'll
Let us know.
Yeah, I didn't really read the article, but I remember seeing it. Huh.
But we do have, like I said, we do have a lot of people in the military that are LGBTQ, and I mean,
Mm-hmm.
they're doing a terrific job. And this is what I was saying about even with his overarching mission of just getting rid of people out of government, period, and shaping it to the way of his liking have on the nation and our military and our readiness. And, you know, some of this stuff is just short-sighted. So we'll see as it comes to pass, and then these things get enacted, then as things to think about.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah, have a good one. We've had discussions on here about that Trump had fired a couple of officers from
Yes.
his military
Yes.
officers from his previous cabinets and
Right.
people that had bad things to say about him and folks. A couple of our callers had mentioned, these guys are. I mean, they're military officers, they're generals, they're admirals, or they're whatever. A former U.S. Navy officer has been sentenced for conspiring to steal over $850,000 in military and selling it to buyers in other countries. 53-year-old Richard Allen pleaded guilty back in August to conspiracy and 6 counts of money laundering. He's going to serve 18 months in prison, followed by 3 years of federal supervised. This is according to the United States Attorney General's office.
Wow.
United States Attorney's Office. He also is required to pay $100,000 plus any sum obtained through forfeiture and directed to restitution. The maximum penalties Allen faced were 125 years in prison and $3.5 million fine.
Whew.
Not all officers are gentlemen.
I agree.
Okay.
They have issues like anybody else.
Allen stole $856,433 worth of Navy gear and supplies,
What?
including uniforms, winter gear, flame retardant shirts and pants, soft body armor, goggles, infrared flag patches, Navy SEAL Trident insignia, and small arms protective insert plates, according to court records.
Right.
Not everybody. He sold to buyers in 50 countries, including Russia and China.
Right. I don't know who this is.
And good morning. Can I help?
Good morning. How are you guys doing?
We're vertical. How are you?
Yeah, I'm hanging in there. Well, listen, I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving this week.
I
I'll tell you
appreciate it.
what, we're going to have a lot of pie tasters at our house. Last year, we had some feeding issues, so I had to sit with Big D in the kids' table. But we got a lot of my famous leftover crack pie, which everyone was raving about. I almost became a choking victim. I ate so much. But listen, I want to tell you, whenever I host, it's a catch-22 because there's no doubt people are just going to complain about whatever decision I make in our family due to differences in political beliefs. So it's just sublime. It's total madness.
All right.
It's not like people need to get in operation IV needles in their arm or anything from my cooking. I mean, you're more likely to go to a hospital from a cat bite than my cooking,
Mm-hmm.
But listen, we get in a lot of disagreements about politics at our table, and you know what? A lot of journalists are getting their voices silenced lately, and they're doing great work, especially some of the people at the Scottoon Network, and I'm sure they make less than Jake Tapper does. My friend Jeff rose in stock with conservatives because some of the great work he was doing, but there were those interrupters who got in his way, and a lot of these elected board members at these meetings don't cut the mustard. Plug your ears when they speak because these people are nothing more than a bunch of scofflaws and slackers with bad manners. So how is your Thanksgiving plans going?
Well, it's going to rain here, looks like, but I'm going to be deep frying a couple of turkeys on Thanksgiving morning.
That's
I'll put
right.
up some kind of a little tent or something to keep the rain out of the 300 oil. But that's just the way it goes.
Listen, I'm old enough to remember when gas was $1.09 and the chaos we were seeing with the supply chain and everything else. Just a bunch of deals gone bad.
Yeah, you're just a child. I bought gas as a regular teenager at 27 cents a gallon. That was the standard in the
I
days.
remember that too. Anyway, the whole thing is just politic lately and a bad operation from these forces of evil we're dealing with in the Biden administration. Oh, one more thing before I let you go. Nancy Pelosi, or as I like to call her, the skankin' pickle, is just another one of those public serpents practicing career suicide. Machines are controlling what they do and say. Listen, have a happy Thanksgiving.
You too, sir. You take care.
Take care.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, that was nice.
Yep. So, okie dokie. What else we got cooking tomorrow? Is we got Dr. Rose back? Should
Yes,
be.
we do. Yes,
And
we
we've
do.
got Peter Wright in here.
And I have. Well, let me tell you. I almost thought I would have to call Peter the other day, but I had a doctor's appointment last week. And he gave me a prescription that helps with pain. It's not narcotic, but it helps with inflammation and stuff. And so they said, we'll call it in. And so a little while later, my pharmacy sends me a message and says that, Theo, that I'm sorry, we can't fill this till December 19th. And I'm like, what? What is that?
They don't like you until December 19th.
My first prescription of the entire year. And anyway, I decided to call the pharmacy. They had sent it to the wrong place.
Oh, okay.
And so that's what it was all about. But I was getting ready to dial Peter and say, we've got to do something.
I know whose fault it was, though.
I blame everything on Peter.
No, I don't. I blame everything on Theo. Hey,
I'm just
Theo, how
kidding.
you doing?
Hey, Theo.
Hey,
What's going
deplorables.
on?
We're hanging in here. How are you?
We're not going back. Do you remember that?
We're not going back to
Not
where?
Going
Yeah.
back.
Huh? Kamala Harris, we're not going back. Okay, so you can have all kinds of fun you want to have for the next 4 years, but we'll take it back. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
You
We're
go
not-
ahead and do whatever you want the next 4 years.
We're
Challenge
not,
We're not going
accepted.
back.
we're not going
Okay?
back. We're not
You
going
want
back
to
to.
take the women out of the front lines. You want to take the LGBTQ out of the military. You
didn't
go
say
ahead.
that.
We're not going back. Okay, you have your fun for 4 years, and we'll talk in the next 4 years. Okay.
I didn't say
Now,
anything about
something.
taking
I wanna
anybody
ask
out.
Who said not taking anybody out of the
Yeah,
front
we didn't
lines?
say
Women
that.
or LGBTQ
That guy
ZZ?
Heck says he wants to take the women out of the
Oh,
front lines.
Pete.
Come on, aren't you keeping up with this stuff, buddy?
Apparently not.
I must have missed
Well,
it too.
what are you doing all day?
I'm just sitting around, twiddling my thumbs, planning on Thanksgiving like other people
You're
should be
eating
doing.
all day long. You do nothing but eating. There's news to be done here.
Yeah, you come around there and you stand on the
Well,
ladder
that's
like
my
I have
bad,
for the
baby.
last 3 days.
I want to know from Chris, did any of the car dealers give any decent donations? The car dealers that have all these Marines buying some expensive cars, like 60,000, 80,000 pickup trucks. Did they come up with any donations that are credible?
I don't
We're
know.
not talking about one or two reefs. We're talking about a few $1,000s. I mean, how many dealers do we have in town that
A
are
lot.
making a lot of money?
I do believe he did collect some money from one of the dealerships. I said, I do believe that he did collect money from one of the dealerships, but I
One,
know,
just one?
well, he's been going around visiting people and visiting dealerships. So
Oh
hopefully,
my goodness!
hopefully the
My
list is
goodness.
growing. I know the Republican Party gave $1,000. How much did the Democrats give, Theo?
I don't know how much the unaffiliated give.
There's no
Don't-
party.
there's no party.
Affiliates don't have a party.
Listen, it's time. Hey, listen, Ray first.
Yes.
It's about time. You're so proud how many unaffiliated in this county.
Yes.
When are you going to start running so they can be responsible for some things?
see how many
Where's
have
your
turned back.
unaffiliated running for office?
We don't
Where's
run,
your
we
next
vote.
commissioner? Where's your next commissioner?
We don't run, we vote.
Oh, you don't run, you vote.
Yeah.
No, it's time you guys, you're all dressed up, nowhere to go. Time that you start putting your party together and have some people come
It's
out
not
here
a
and do
party.
the work.
We support people in the Republican Party.
Yeah,
We support
yeah,
people
nice,
in the
nice.
Democrat Party.
Nice excuse.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, all right. All right. Be responsible, huh?
Yeah,
Be responsible.
got it.
Do I know who you voted for because you're unaffiliated?
No, you don't.
Okay, so how do you represent the vote?
I represent the vote.
Yeah, if you're unaffiliated and I don't know which way you were voted, how do I know who you are? I know a Republican would vote for a Republican. You know a Democrat will vote for a
No, not
Democrat.
necessarily.
Not
No, they don't.
necessarily.
No, they don't. No, they do not.
Because I have an R
Come
behind
on,
my
come
name
on,
does
come
not
on,
mean.
Come on.
I voted for both this past election.
Yeah, okay. Nice try.
You'll never ever know exactly who I vote for because
no, that's all right. We're all hanging here. You got us hanging. Like you don't know which way you're going to vote, but you're always blabbing about who did the wrong thing. Anyway, we're not going back.
Okay.
Okay.
Then
Okay.
stay where you are.
All right.
Okay.
thanks, Theo.
All right. I'll talk to you soon. I might call tomorrow. I don't know.
Okay. I hope
Okay.
so. Well, we
Keep
want to hear.
aggravating me.
We want to hear from you. Let's see. I'll find something I can aggravate you for
And
tomorrow.
listen, that guy that just called, whatever his name is,
Mike.
Pelosi didn't give you an insurrection, and Pelosi is not a convicted felon. Okay, put that in your pipe and smoke it.
I don't smoke.
Not you.
Wow.
The guy just called.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, take care.
See
All
ya.
right. Bye. Wow. Okay.
I don't have a pipe. I got a tailpipe, but I don't smoke, and I
Right.
don't. Yeah.
All righty then.
Ugh,
What caused that?
I'm not sure. Marine Corps got a new sniper rifle. We'll talk about it tomorrow.
Oh, good.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah.
Mm.
Take the enemy out from further than ever before.
Oh, that's interesting. I'd like to hear all about that
Mhm.
and how far it
Theo probably won't.
Well, Drew. Yep. I think that's pretty cool.
Well, it's time that Drew should be here because coming up in just a few hours is going to be the Cardinals round
I
3
know it.
of the playoffs. Hey, Drew,
Drew,
how
wish
are
you
you?
were here.
Where'd you go?
I'm here.
There you
There
are.
he is.
What's up, Drew?
The reefs from Florida came from me.
Okay.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Thank you. We appreciate that. I'll make sure. Oh, I'm sure Chris knows it, but sometimes he doesn't point out individuals.
My brother always handles the reef for my parents in Arlington every year,
Nice.
and
Nice.
I always send some to Jacksonville.
Thank you, sir, for that.
Right.
Well,
Oh, well, thank you.
My father's got a lot of friends there.
Yes.
Yeah, I have
have.
absolutely no doubt about that. Been around this neck of the woods for quite a while. Was
Yep.
I actually
So-
found a uncle here that I didn't know he was buried in the Ohio area. And I ran across it, wait a minute, and researched, and that was my uncle.
I'll be darned.
Found out he was stationed here at one time in the Navy, and he retired and never left. I'm like, how come we didn't know?
You know your story about the finding the bodies in the
Yes.
In our territory, you know, all these little funeral homes down here, they don't all have their own crematorium.
Right.
Right.
Some guy put up in a warehouse a cut rate crematorium and cremate people for the other cemetery or other funeral homes and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And we never figured out what it was. I mean, we used to joke that they put an extra fat one in there or something.
Mhm.
Every once in a while, when he was doing it, it smoked real bad.
Uh-huh.
And, I mean, to the point that the neighbors would call fire department because they thought they had a fire. And you don't want to go to those because it stunk.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
How could you?
Sometimes they don't use enough heat.
I would have
Right.
nightmares knowing there was decomposing bodies back behind me. Oh God.
You wouldn't even have known this. I mean, this was almost downtown Miami in a warehouse. And that's what he did full time.
In downtown Miami, I can suspect anything. I've been there.
Yeah. Y'all have a good Thanksgiving.
Thanks,
Thank
you
you.
too,
Thank
Joe.
you.
Just
Thank
real quick before we go off the air, I didn't get a chance to talk about this earlier, but the sheriff's department has honored Lieutenant Dawn. I can't say her name right. Jarnick.
Yep.
And K9 Bonito.
Yes.
They both officially
Bonito.
retired from the sheriff's office after 30 years of service.
Wow.
She began her career in 1995 serving with the Surf City Police
That's
Department.
the first time I met her.
Yes.
And met her doggie, her
Yeah.
brand new doggie at
Canine
the time. Bonito.
Remember when they were on that reality show with the
Yeah.
canines and Bonito, Canine Bonito was on the show. We were pulling for them back.
Yeah.
We were just like,
I went
wow.
to Surf City right after she got the puppy.
Yes.
It was a young dog.
Yes.
And get some pictures of the dog for,
Right.
I think Dorothy Royal wanted me to get pictures of the dog. So I was there and I got some
Aw.
photos of the doggie. And then, of course, the doggie is well trained. But as I got ready to leave, the doggie and I had bonded.
Right.
And I said, come on, baby, let's go. Pat him on. And
Aw.
the doggie's following me to the truck. And she was like, whoa, that you can't, he's not supposed to be doing that.
Well, look, Canine Bonito has his own candle
Yeah.
and is in a Christmas coloring book,
Oh,
with
that's
Fox
cool.
and the Hound.
That's
He is
cool.
the dog model for high speed gear and was on the FBI Criminal Enterprise and Coastal Human Trafficking Task Force.
Yay.
You go, Bonito.
My baby. My
And it was
baby.
America's top dog on A&E that
Okay.
he.
All right, we'll be back in here tomorrow. Like I say, Dr. Rose at 7
From the Dominican Republic.
Republic.
Yes.
And also Peter Wright. He'll be in here, and I've got paperwork to hand him tomorrow. Since I have not been able to get over there, I might do it today, but I doubt it. To
Just hand it to him.
Walmart.
Let him do it on his down. That's what I did. Gave him my stuff.
Jeez, I mean, it's a pain in the butt to try to
Right.
get all this stuff together when you got everything else going too.
Right.
No wonder the president has so many handlers. I need some too. Hand me this and hand me that. Okay, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day and get ready for some cool weather and some rainy
Into this
weather.
week,
It's
yeah.
not going to be cool up through Thanksgiving, but it's going to be,
After
we're going to get some rain and then it's
Thanksgiving.
going to turn cold.
Then it's going to turn cold.
And get ready for Friday night. We're
Friday
gonna,
night
we're
football.
gonna
Come on,
kick
let's all
here,
go.
bring it on.
That's right.
You're live and local real talk. Kelly and Lee and I will be back tomorrow morning for Hump Day. Have a great rest of your day. We are always awake here, but we ain't never going to be woke. See you tomorrow.